Okay. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about UDL and kind of how I was impressed with the article, as well as just kind of what I thought about it. So I'm impressed, first of all, that UDL's main goal is to accommodate needs and abilities for all students, especially with students with disabilities. Teachers can use the information they are given through UDL to create the best learning environment for all students. UDL supports the goal of creating lifetime learners. The approach is project-based with the guided instruction. This allows students to be hands-on with the material to learn more and connect more with the tools and resources that the classroom has. So there are 3 parts of UDL. We have the effective network, so the why of learning, the recognition network, the what of learning, and then the strategic network, the how of learning. So all of these are parts of our brain that are interconnected that play a huge role in learning, which is why UDL I think is so cool, because when they were creating UDL, they used that guideline of the brain mapping to figure out exactly how students are going to learn and be most successful. Again, and that's why they utilized creating the basic guidelines of the process, because of the impact that it has on students. So with the why of learning, that is going to be why the students are learning information. So when you're creating that lesson plan, it's the why you're teaching it and why the students need to learn it. You want to connect it back to something that they're going to know and that they're going to connect to. So that could be something that they really like or that they experience in their everyday lives. So what is learning? It's kind of like different ways you can present as a teacher, the ways you're going to be presented the materials. So if you use that as going to be guided instruction with an activity at the end, that's how you're going to do it. It could be a video with an activity. It could be a lesson plan with, or instruction with a role play. It's just, there's so many different ways that content can be presented. And then the how of learning, that is just how students are going to express what they know. So that could be in a worksheet at the end. That could be you asking questions throughout the lesson to check for understanding. That could be an assessment at the end. That could be any of those things after you're teaching that lesson. I want to share a lesson plan that I did about Math Mountains, and this was, I think, a little bit over a year ago. One second here. I don't know if you can see this, so I'm really hoping you can. Okay, so first I have the standard and then the lesson objective. And then here, I literally says what, why, and how. So that is student-friendly target. So I like to present these to the students so they can see them. Like when we're doing our presentation, like on the slides, I'll put this up there. So again, they can see what are Math Mountains. I'm teaching Math Mountains to the students. They're gonna figure out what a Math Mountain is and all of that and how to do it. And then the why is just another strategy to add numbers, because maybe the other ways are not working for the students. When you just do 2 + 2 next to each other and they count with their fingers, this is another way that they can do that. And then the how is I can use addition to find the unknown partner using Math Mountains. So that's more of what they're going to get out of it by the end and what I'll be looking for them to be able to do, so they know what I'm looking for. And then that's just the evaluation of the objective. And then for this is the guideline, or this is the template that we're given for our department. So this is the special education elementary ed template for Woodring. So basically before we created our lesson plans, we got it empty and we put in all the information. So right on here we have UDL. So we have to go in and find UDL within our lesson, which is so convenient, because again here, so I picked engagement and the guideline was recruiting interest. So I'm trying to find a connection and interest between students so they can get more involved in the activity. So in this, I am going to personalize the lesson and make it relevant that we use addition in our everyday lives. So in this example, I said that we would do an activity right then and there when I'm explaining this, that in the review or before the review that we have 3 pencils and your neighbor has 2, how many do you have altogether? Then that shows that, oh my gosh, we really do use math every day in our lives, which is really important for students to see. And then for the principal, the next one I did was representation. And so that was with language and symbols. So with Math Mountains, there's a lot of new vocab that they don't understand quite yet. And that could be Math Mountains again as a whole, and then the partners and the unknown partners and the totals and equations. So I'm going to go over that with them so that they know and understand what they are given. And I'll just review that quickly on a whiteboard, and then they'll talk with their neighbors real fast. And that is the beginning of the lesson. And then we'll use it throughout the lesson at the end. They should be able to use those terms in every day. Yeah. Let's see. Now I just need to go over really fast just a quote that kind of stuck out to me. So I really liked this quote. It says, "Students with disabilities deserve equal access to mathematical thinking and learning." And that is so true because it is, and that's what they need to know. With UDL, it allows teachers to see student experiences and give them empathy for that experience. So teachers most often conduct the interviews to recognize what supports that students need for their learning and what barriers they'll be facing. So from that point, the teachers can redesign their routines, their curriculum, their lesson plans, and figure out what is going to work best for all of their students, not just one specifically, but for all of their students. Because if one student is not maybe getting it, then multiple may not be getting it. And that's why the interviews are so important with UDL.